Hey everybody, I am David, and today is my DC TV recap where I talk about all my favorite DC TV shows such as Gotham, Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Arrow. And let's get right through it. Let's talk about Supergirl. Supergirl Season 2, Episode 17, Distant Sun. And I'm going to start off by saying that this was an alright episode. Just like last week, they were good episodes. You know, I liked this Mon-El storyline of him being in the middle of Supergirl and his parents. And at first, you know, last week's episode, I felt that I wanted to see Kevin Sorbo and Terri Hatcher really get into the meat of things. They felt like they were just there. Let's come with us, son. Let's go back to our planet. And I'm like, that's it? That's what their whole goal here is? There's no treachery. There's no all that, you know, like what I was expecting it to be. And funny enough, it looks like this episode kind of gave us a little bit of what is going to be wrapping up the last 4 episodes, I believe. We got Terri Hatcher, who kills her husband at the end of this episode, which was the huge twist, which I kind of saw coming. I'm going to admit this. I called it halfway through the episode that she was going to kill him, Kevin Sorbo's character, because after it was revealed that, you know, the parents were sending a bounty on Supergirl to kill her, when Mon-El said, okay, you know what, I'm going to the ship, I'm going with my parents just to save her, the mother was the one that was Terri Hatcher's character, was the one that was really wanting her son to come with him and forcing him. The father, Kevin Sorbo's character, was kind of giving him some advice. He seemed more understanding and more caring about the whole situation, where Terri Hatcher's character was seemed a little bit more conniving to me. And so that's when, halfway through the episode, I forgot what scene it was right now, but that's when I kind of called it. It was the talk with Kevin Sorbo's character, when Mon-El was talking to his father. That's when I kind of thought, man, I think Terri Hatcher is going to kill him. I kind of didn't think in this episode, but then right at the very end, when they were hugging and embracing, and Kevin Sorbo was like, you know, don't worry about our son. As long as we're together, that's all that counts. And she's like, that's when I called it. I said, she's going to kill him. And she did. She stabbed him with a knife, and that's it. It was like true love, I guess, didn't really exist there. So the episode, for all it was, I thought it was a fine episode. It was directed by Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, I thought his last Supergirl episode was actually really good. This one, I liked it, but it wasn't as good as his last event. Same thing with The Flash, funny enough. I felt with The Flash, it was the opposite. I felt when he directed The Flash, I thought his first episode, the dinosaur one, I thought that one was, that was good. And then his second episode was actually better. This one was the reverse. It was like the first episode he directed was better. This one was, it was all right. Now let's move on to The Flash, Season 3, Episode 18, Abra Kadabra. This one I really liked a lot. We got a magician coming from another world who has advanced magic. Magic is just something you don't understand, as the Thor movies put it. And he was a really interesting villain. If you recognize that actor, I've said it in my full-length review. He's a recognizable actor. We've seen him in things like The Dark Knight, Ant-Man, and Gotham. He recently guest starred on Gotham before their winter break, the one with their Jerome. And I thought he really put up a really nice challenge for the team. And it was a good episode. I kind of get annoyed when they keep teasing us and then they don't give us an answer. But at least now Barry's like, thinking straight. He's like, you know what? I'm going into the future to get one up them. Finally, one up Savitar and just find out who he is. which is a brilliant idea, Barry. Finally, you're thinking straight. But I just didn't like how they kept teasing us. But we did get the thing with Gypsy out of the way, that, you know, how she was connected to Abra Kadabra, that he killed someone of hers. I thought they were going to tease that and never explain that to us either. But I guess that was the B plot that they were going to eventually. But Savitar's identity, that's the only thing that bothered me about this episode. But other than that, it was a fun episode. I thought it was really good. And I'm looking forward to the next episode even more, because when they do the time travel thing, I know Barry shouldn't all the time. There's always repercussions, but maybe there won't be repercussions this time going into the future. And there's been some theories on who people think Savitar is, and I'm liking some of them. One of the big one I have been reading the most is Savitar is actually Barry from the future. That would be a really interesting twist, because I think it's been hinted that it is somebody that we know and somebody that we'll least expect. And that would be one that we'll least expect. So let's see how that turns out. Next, we got Legends of Tomorrow, Season 2, Episode 16, Doom World. The Legion of Doom has, you know, they got the Spear of Destiny last time, and they now wiped everything clean. The world is theirs in control. And yeah, this was a really solid episode. I really love this one. All the Easter eggs and everything. When you saw Dark's collection of vigilantes he killed, the Flash and Arrow and Vigilante himself was there. All those masks, Wild Dog, etc. I starting from there, from seeing how the characters are in this new world, it looks like their minds were erased, except for the villains. Obviously, they know everything that's happened, including Mick, and it looks like some people were right. Mick is the one to save the day. He went out saving everybody, and the ending just gets even better and better with some twists here and there. And the biggest one was Amaya Vixen dying, being killed by Snart. I wasn't expecting that. That was awesome. Not in a good way. Not awesome in a good way. Awesome in, like, man, I wasn't expecting that. And I love it when I'm not expecting things and they just, you know, it's like I'm blindfolded. I'm, like, surprised. I love when they do stuff like that. Even though I don't want Amaya to die, I think they'll bring her back. We'll see. Because they have to fix the timeline, right? When everything goes back to normal, because the present day Vixen has to be born, and if this Vixen is dead, then the timeline's screwed up. And as far as we know, nothing's screwed up yet since we saw Arrow, which I'll get to next. So yeah, I'm the ending with Thawne and everything. Amazing. Like, Thawne destroyed the spear. I didn't think he was going to destroy the spear. I actually thought they were going to get the spear and set everything right and then get ready for the finale, for whatever the final fight was going to be. But it looks like they're going to be doing something completely unexpected. They're actually going to go to a time point next week where they already were, which was World War II, where J.R.R. Tolkien was. So will we see J.R.R. Tolkien again? I don't know, but that it was interesting though that how they had to knock out Thawne a couple of times, because realistically, let's face it, Thawne could have killed all those guys single-handedly in like a flash. See what I did there? So let's get into the next episode. This was a really good one. Arrow, Season 5, Episode 18, disbanded. I did a whole review on this. Flash and Arrow, I always do full reviews, so you can go there and check my full details. But the highlight, I guess, Oliver was lost over what happened last week, which was a really great episode, one of the best of the season for sure, or maybe even of the series. And but this episode was a really good follow-up too. So I will say it did start off a little bit slow for me, thinking about it more. But around the time when Diggle started getting into it and the Bratva started doing their operation in Star City, I think that's where things really started getting more interesting. Even that scene in the office between Oliver and Adrian Chase, I really like that scene where both, you could tell like Adrian Chase thinks he has Oliver by the balls, and because he's even tempting him to kill him, and Oliver won't do it because he's like a little child that was abused and tormented. But really, Oliver's thinking what he's going to be doing next, which is calling the Russian mob and having them kill his worst enemy right now. And Diggle doesn't like that. I really love the bonding between Diggle and Oliver in this episode all the way through, because Diggle wasn't giving up on Oliver no matter what Oliver was thinking in his head. And I like that because that's the Diggle and Oliver relationship we all love and cherish. When those two, because those two started it all. It was really, people say the original team Arrow was Diggle, Oliver, and Felicity, but really Felicity joined later on in season 1. It all started with Oliver and Diggle, and that's the friendship I really loved in this episode, seeing that support back and forth in this episode. And obviously, Adrian Chase shows what kind of a monster he is at the end of this episode, beating up those 2 security guards like crazy. All the blood splattered on him and everything. It was like something I never seen on Arrow before. We probably did, but I haven't seen it in a long while then. It was a really nice setup for things to come in these next couple of episodes leading to the finale. I can't wait. So now that I got through all these episodes, some of the highlights that I really liked and maybe didn't like, what was the best and worst of this week? I am going to say that I feel Supergirl was my least favorite this week. It was a good episode, but like the relationship stuff with Maggie and what's her name? Maggie and Alex. Okay, I get it, fine. But I feel like, every week we're going to get drama with these two and their relationship? Like, come on, guys. I like the relationship, but you don't need to give us, here's the next relationship problem. I get it that you're trying to make it relatable because, the couple is gay, and that's fine. But you don't have to stress on it in every single episode. I like how you guys deal with Curtis on Arrow. You give a sprinkle doses of it here and there when it needs to be. I'm still curious about Curtis and his relationship with his boy, or his ex-boyfriend now, or ex-fiance. I am still curious in that relationship. I really like it when you guys have Sarah flirting with different women in every episode. But with Alex and Maggie, I feel like, does there really need to be the new situation that they're thrown into in every episode? I don't know. That's something that bothers me. And so far, the Terri Hatcher stuff hasn't been getting interesting until the very end there when she killed Kevin Sorbo. Now I think we're going to see Terri Hatcher unleashed in these next couple of episodes, trying to get her son back and trying to get rid of Supergirl. I think now we're going to see what I was hoping for in these last 2 episodes. The best episode this week, again, it's a toss-up between Arrow and Legends. I'm going to give it to Legends this time by a slight margin because I said earlier Arrow started off a little slow. It was still really good in the beginning too. But, they had to set up everything and get things going. But they took their time with it. Where Arrow, Legends, I felt really got interesting right in the beginning, especially when you see the characters like in different situations, like were they mind controlled? What happened? Like I thought I missed an episode, so I was like trying to realize. And Felicity turning into a hero, I didn't even mention that. And maybe it's because the next week's episode is the finale, so they're really getting things heightened for next week. That's why I thought Legends was the best this week. So, with that being said, guys, that's it for this episode of my DC TV recap. Comment below. Tell me what you thought of all these episodes this week. Which episodes did you like the best? Rank them if you want. Which one did you like the least? And with that being said, guys, subscribe to my channel and like this video. And by the way, next Thursday, The Flash isn't going to be on because Legends is finishing off. So what I'm going to do is do on Tuesday, I'll do a final Legends of Tomorrow review. I'll do a season review instead of a episode review. I'll still talk about it in next week's DC TV recap, since I want to talk about Supergirl and Arrow as well, if they're still on this week. I'm not sure. And so with that being said, take care.